All right, guys, we'll get started here in just a minute or two. Welcome to tonight's stream live from Ohio, or maybe I should call this Tornado Alley. This is the craziest weather I've ever experienced living in these mountainous regions. Anyway, I got my drink ready. Give me a moment here and we'll get started. Before I forget, as usual, a special thanks to all of the contributors to this community channel. I'm grateful as always, and thank you for sticking around all these years. This is the 14th year of Total OS Today. Thank you so much. All right, so I know that most of you will probably catch this later on. We've had, before we go into the tech talk, we've had absolutely insane weather. I do not recall a time where we've had tornadoes forming in these here in Ohio. And who knew that tornadoes can form, be created in mountainous regions? I've never heard of it. Thankfully here we're okay, but others not too far from here there's been some damage and some injuries. Anyway, I won't go into all of it. You can just type in tornadoes Ohio and go from there. So we will have we're going from 80-degree temperature yesterday to what, 50s, 40s for tonight and tomorrow. Anyway, I was going to do this Friday night, but not knowing what the weather would give us, I'm doing this tonight. It's a Thursday night. Don't know if anybody's going to jump on. We'll see what happens, but I got the time. I have a free day tomorrow, so we'll see how this goes. So we'll talk a little bit about stuff that's in the news, and then we'll go from there. All right, let's talk briefly a little bit about the latest Ubuntu 24.04 was just released, in case you haven't noticed. I may take a look at it. I'm not sure. Ubuntu lately for me it's I'm trying to think of a word. It's just become dull. There was a time where each new release of Ubuntu brought a sense of conversation, anticipation. Those days are gone for me. The change started when they switched from the Unity desktop to the GNOME desktop. Not my favorite desktop environment. That started in 2017, and the end for me was about a year or so ago, where I installed the latest Ubuntu at the time, and I had no sound. Okay, did a fresh install. I still had no sound, and the best part, when I went into the sound settings, it said dummy output. How appropriate. So sadly, that was an end of an era for me. No more Ubuntu for me, at least not on a daily basis. Testing, maybe. I do like Ubuntu base, such as Zorin, Linux Mint. But these days for me, it is going to be pretty much Linux Mint, Chromebooks, the gold standard of Linux, it appears, and the Windows 11 installed on multiple machines. Who knew that Windows 11 would be more reliable and lighter weight than some Linux systems? But that's a fact, Jack, at least in my multiple tests. All right, what else do we have here? System 76, the Cosmic Desktop. From what I read, it's coming along nicely. Hopefully we'll have a preview release here in the next month or two. They're working on the App Store, and they said it's a super fast App Store. If I read correctly on their blog. In fact, they say, I quote, ultra fast Cosmic App Store. Now, I believe right now they're using the GNOME desktop, and normally don't put the words ultra-fast and GNOME in the same sentence. But this is totally new for System 76. They are based here in the States, I believe in Colorado, if I am not mistaken. They make very good System 76 machines, so I've heard. But they're working on their own, well, desktop environment called Cosmic. And this is going to be the best, or not the best, but the biggest, the most interesting Linux news of the year, I do believe. I thought it would have been Ubuntu's release of a different operating system. If you guys know what I mean, something similar to the Chromebooks. But that has been delayed, so I guess we'll have to wait for that. But with that not being possible, it seems this year, the big news will be the Cosmic Desktop environment from Pop! OS. Pop! OS from System 76, based here in the States. Looking at this preview photos here, it actually looks pretty nice. Colorful. At least for the App Store. Yeah, this one I'll definitely be testing. Alright, what else do I have here? Chromebook users, there is a central App Store, central hub coming in the next preview release for Chrome OS, and this is called the App Mall, and this will allow you to install apps outside of the Google Play Store. I believe this is still in testing mode, and this is going to be in the testing channel of Chrome version 1.26. And let's see if I have this correct. The App Mall icon will then be added to the app launcher. So more choices for Chromebooks. You can already install apps from the Play Store, Android, Linux. If you turn on the Linux desktop environment, there's some other ways there to install software. So Chromebooks just have been, there's a reason why Chromebooks outsold MacBooks during the pandemic. And you don't make that happen if the machines don't work. It's just not going to happen. Impossible. So I have two Chromebooks. One is decidedly outdated, a little bit slow, but it works. The other one is fine. Now, admittedly, I don't use laptops that much. Even my Windows 11 laptop, I don't use it that much. I'm usually here talking to you guys on my desktop or on my cell phone. It's just a matter of convenience. So for those of you who have Chromebooks and are loving Chromebooks, you have the very best that Linux can offer. And yeah, and very affordable on top. All right, for this evening, I didn't make coffee. I have Gatorade powder, make your own drink stuff. Anyway. Something different. Let me give me a second here, and I'll jump into the chat and see if anybody popped in. Cody is in the house. Good evening, my friend. Cosmic has their own DE. Yeah, it is not based on GNOME anymore. Yes, you are correct. They got sick of GNOME like I did. And using, yes, it's built from the ground up using Rust. Yes. And I'm looking forward to that. That is the biggest news of the year. Biggest Linux news of the year. I thought it would have been Ubuntu, but not this year. So yeah, that's going to be very interesting. The Cosmic Desktop. I forget what Cosmic stands for. It's nothing to do with space or anything, but yeah, should be very interesting, Cody. Very interesting indeed. But as far as Ubuntu goes, I'm looking forward to the immutable OS. Anyway, I am doing quite well, Cody. Here in Ohio, there have been multiple nights, days of tornadoes. Luckily, not here. In all my years living here, I don't recall having a single tornado in previous years, but there have been multiple ones. So the climate has gone goofy. I can't think of any other way to describe it. But I'm okay. What about you? Ah, you dodged one. You haven't had a tornado since 2003. Very good. Oh, you are at work. Okay. Very good. You switched to Fedora. And why did you switch? So far, I've been very, very happy with Linux Mint, Chromebook, and Windows 11. There really hasn't been any other Linux-based system that I must try or have to install. Usually I find one that works and I stick with that. In this case, it's Linux Mint. The Mate desktop, still my favorite after all these years. All right, so you like the GNOME version of Fedora. Okay, if it works, great. Yeah, Linux Mint is good. They've been around their first release, 2008-ish, 2009, somewhere around there, I do believe. You know, in this market, in this Linux environment, you don't make it this long without doing something good. Yeah. I need to ask if anybody has a System 76 machine that would like to share their thoughts, their usage on it. Please do, and with Pop OS of course. But if you have one or had one and maybe don't use it anymore, I'm just curious. Nobody really mentions System 76, at least not here. I'm assuming they're doing well because they've been in business quite a few years now. And they're always developing something like the Cosmic Desktop. So if you are using a System 76 machine or had used one, just out of curiosity, let me know. Yeah, it's Linux Mint for new users who want something out of the box that works. So Linux Mint out of the box saved you at college one day. Very good. Yeah, Linux Mint, Zorin OS. Again, Zorin OS, another one since 2009, 2010. They've been around a few years. Again, they must be doing something right. So, yeah. Interesting that Mint saved you at college one day. Interesting. And how did that happen? Aha, you turned on your Arch laptop. Well, there you go. Noticed a flashing white cursor. Uh-oh. Hurry and download and install Linux Mint. All right, Linux Mint to the rescue. Very good. So did you, which version of Mint did you install? Cinnamon? If I had to guess, Cinnamon version, right? Okay. MS Fonts, they did Firefox, LibreOffice pre-install, didn't need to install anything. Okay. Yeah, so you like Cinnamon. Cinnamon is okay. There's something about the Mate desktop. It's a throwback to the previous Ubuntu days. A simpler time, a faster time, easier time. There's just something about that old GNOME 2 style. It's hard to beat. It's hard to beat the KISS method, right? Keep it simple, stupid, right? At least that is my philosophy. But Cinnamon looks good, definitely. All right, so Mate, it's both modern like Cinnamon and old like XFC. Yeah, it's definitely it's not meant to be flashy or convoluted or hard like GNOME, but you can make it look any way that you want to. I just like it because it's simple. You know, with the Mate desktop, I move the panel from the bottom to the top. I turn on some of the applets like the weather applet. Sometimes I use Cairo Dock, a little flash, a little flare, but that's it. That's all that I need. Again, there's something to be said for simplicity. Yeah, this computer I have, it's over 10 years old. It'll run Cinnamon, but I just like the look and feel of Mate. Again, it's my first date with Linux was back in 06 with Ubuntu, with the GNOME 2, and Mate brings that back. A bit of nostalgia. You are correct. Nothing wrong with that. 100% correct. So I'll stick around a little bit longer since I have a free day tomorrow. I don't have to get up early in the morning. If anybody else is watching this as we speak and would like to say hello or have a question, please let me know. Or just say hello. I do these live streams at different times for two reasons. Number one, thanking all the contributors to the channel. Thank you so much. And try to catch someone who, for some reason or other, never has had a chance to say hello. Maybe you're in a different time zone. Maybe you're in a different country. A lot has changed post-pandemic. That's for sure. GNOME is definitely a different E, that's for sure. I had a friend of mine, well, a friend of a friend, call me. Just a little story here. She has a problem with her computer, with her laptop. She can't get on the web. Anyway, to make a long story short, Cody, I called her. Since you mentioned Mac here, I called her. And I said, yeah, everything was working fine until whenever. Try to jump online to pay her bills, banking, and all that. So I said, do you have a Microsoft computer? What kind of laptop? She says, it's Apple computer. Okay. Now tell me again what's happening. Anyway, to make a long story short, she explained it, and I'm like, I've come across that before. I said, ma'am, or I won't mention her name, but I said, how old's the computer? I said, she says, I'm not sure, but it's pretty, is it at least 5 years old? Oh, yeah. Is it closer to 10 years old? Yeah. Well, on a Mac, I said, if it's 10 years old, number one, that's the problem. Number two, you're probably not getting any more security updates. It's probably not even safe to do any banking on an outdated computer if it's 10 years old or more. So she did not want to hear. Now she's a retired senior lady, and she says, I do this at home because I think she had an accident last year, broke her leg or hip, and she goes to therapy or chiropractic. I felt really, really bad. I have a high respect for anyone who goes through some medical issues and still tries to, do the day-to-day stuff, especially on a computer. But I said, look, I can come to your house and then, try to make it work, but it wouldn't be safe to use. So I asked her, what do you use your computer for? Oh, the internet and just paying the bills. That's it. Well, then I said, ma'am, you don't need to spend $2,000 on a Mac. There's nothing wrong with them if that's what you like. But in your situation, you don't need an Apple computer. And I sensed she was on a budget. So I don't know if she's a widow or not married. That's none of my business. Again, a friend of a friend, just trying to help him out, trying to help her out. So I said, give me a few minutes. Let me check Office Max. There's a local Office Max here. And anyway, I did. I said, well, they have Lenovo and Asus and something else. I said, well, we have this, that they have this on sale. It's Ryzen 5, 16 gigs of RAM on sale for $399. It is a Windows machine. And I said that would be perfectly fine for what you need. And she says, well, could you come over and help me set it up? Absolutely. And then right before she hung up, she says, I don't know when I'll get there because ever since I had an accident, I can't drive. Excuse me. Anyway, I felt bad. But that being said, I think I gave her the best advice, that you don't have to spend $2,000 for a machine that you're only going to do web surfing. I even mentioned a Chromebook. But anyway, we'll stick with what I recommended. So yeah, I hope I helped her out. And I felt bad, but anyway, it is what it is. Let's see here. I need to I'm going to get a refill of my drink. So I'll be back in about a minute or two. And for those of you watching, stick around. I'll be happy to stick around a little bit longer. And I'll be back. Thank you, Arnold. All right, I'll be back. Don't go away. Alright, I actually grabbed me some mints too, some peppermints that I got at the dollar store. Anyway, yes, with those computer specs and the price, that's a really good price. I think so. So I hope she gets it. But yeah, I think that's a fair price for an AMD Ryzen 5 with Windows 11 pre-installed. Chromebooks, well, I think with the Chromebook, I think she would physically have to take a look at it. But as far as installing elementary on the Mac, I could deal with it. I don't think she could. Yeah. For her, it would have to be something really, really simple, like a Chromebook. It's just a different look. But she would be looking for something that's click and go, if you know what I mean. The Chromebook would definitely fit the bill. It would be affordable, fast, 10 years of guaranteed updates, beats anything out there. And she can get a very, very nice Chromebook machine for $400. I think in that situation, Cody, I think I would have to show her my Chromebook. And just to say, hey, take a look at this. And what do you think? And maybe that's all that she would need. In that case, problem solved. She would never have to call me for any tech support. I mean, it's a Chromebook. Either they work or they don't work, right? That's it. Yeah, the elementary, it is similar layout to Mac, but yeah, for someone, I think in her situation, I don't think I would install Linux. So, yeah. These little peppermint things here with the dollar store are pretty good. I'm still awaiting word. In fact, let me look if there will be a Halo TV Season 3. The second season was superb. I think Paramount Studios, I believe it's for sale. If I read correctly. So I'm looking at a list here of what's been renewed or what's on, and do not see Halo Season 3 listed, at least not yet. So, and anyway, hope they renew it. It's one of the few shows I definitely make a point to watch. I did see where Xbox Studio announced some closures. I actually had to update my Xbox One. It was like a 30 gigabyte update. It was crazy. Anyway. I've been binge watching the show called Expedition X. Yeah, just one of those things, you start to watch something and now you get hooked on it. So, have you guys been watching that? I'm actually just perusing some of the latest Linux news here, and this just popped up. The best Linux distro of 2024. So let me look at this and see what this has to say. This is always interesting. Let me see here. Alright, so according to this list, again, this is not my list, but it says the best Linux distribution for new users is Nitrix. That's interesting. Okay, I was not expecting that. Okay. Wow. Huh, okay, well, that's on there. It's funny how they got these separated. So new users is Nitrix. The best Linux distro for beginners is Ubuntu. I'm not sure what the difference is. Best for Windows users is Zorin OS. Okay. Best for gaming as well, Pop! OS from System 76. Best for privacy is Kodachi. Well, the best for privacy is stay off the web, right? I always laugh at that. Best Linux for repair and rescue, Rescatux. Okay. Interesting. I don't know. What do you guys think of all this? Best Linux distro for USB is Porteous. The best Arch-based is Manjaro, if you say so. The best lightweight is Puppy Linux? Maybe. I don't use Puppy. The best for power, or wait, the best for power, I need more power. Power users, thank you, Arnold. Arch Linux, yes. Definitely for power users. The best Linux for small business is Rocky Linux. Yeah, yo, Adrian. Rocky! Anyway. Interesting choices. But there you have it. Some of the best Linux for 2024. Let's see, what time is it? It is about, what, 10:50 or so? I'll stick around for a little bit more. We'll see if anybody else jumps in. If not, we'll wrap it up for tonight, Cody. I'm just looking at some random news. It says here, an overturned truck spills Coors beers onto California highway. Talk about drunk driving, right? Oh, I should have saved that for a news and nonsense episode, right? Yeah. Oops. Oopsie. I wonder if the driver was drinking the Coors beer. Haha. So when I started tonight's podcast, I mentioned about tornadoes, and I just saw this on the thing on the blog. 12 tornadoes confirmed in Ohio. Wow. That is crazy. Yeah, there was one just outside Pittsburgh, Findlay Township, not too far from here. It's crazy. Anyway, I hope everybody's safe. All right, 5 more minutes, guys. We'll wrap it up. I think it might catch me the next episode of Expedition X. If the weather isn't too bad tomorrow, I may jump on again Friday evening. Maybe. We'll see. Background music once again provided by Dad. Thank you, Pop, for the romantic Italian tunes. So it looks like we are just about ready to wrap this up for tonight. Did you guys see the news, the blog about the Gnome Foundation maybe going bankrupt? They are in debt by a lots. I think it was first brought to my attention by Brian Lunduke. Yeah, I don't know what to say about that. But I guess this has been going on for a few years now. Anyway, well, on that high note, I think we'll wrap this up for this evening. It's almost 11 o'clock here, Eastern time in Ohio. Quiet evening, thankfully. Just cold for this time of year, but a quiet evening. So, all right, my friends, that's all I have for this one. As always, thank you so much for sticking around, for your contributions, for all of your comments. Yes, I do read all of your comments. And yeah, it's been a long day, but have some free time for tomorrow. And oh, Ron, for F's sake, you just got the notification. Oh man, you just got it now, like 45 minutes. I was so sorry, man. Yeah. Anyway, I might jump on tomorrow night. We've had some crappy weather here, unstable. But if the weather's decent tomorrow night, I think I missed you last time. You had to go fix something for a friend or something. A sump pump? A car? For some reason, sump pump comes to mind. Anyway, I know I missed you last time, but yeah, I'm going to wrap this up for tonight. And what can I say? Hope there's no tornadoes up there in Canada, Ron. It's just been nuts here. Absolutely nuts. All right. That's all I have for this one. I'll catch you on the next one. Be safe. Arrivederci.